Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. At the Forrester mansion, Taylor tells Ridge how blessed they are to have such a loving family. Looking guilty, he grunts. Yeah, we are. Taylor yammers about the trauma of Ridge nearly losing Brooke, but wants him to realize that doesn't change anything between them or the commitment they've made to each other. Ridge responds to Taylor's declaration that she won't take off the ring by saying he has to go to the office. Taylor gives him a passionate send-off. At Forrester, Brooke confides in Katie that Nick showed her an engagement ring he planned to give her in Italy. She's not wearing it, but he's holding onto it until he comes back from his trip. Katie reminds her the man she really wants is Ridge, as if she'd forget. In the design office, Electra worries there are a lot of girls out there who would do anything to hold on to him. Will sighs that she doesn't need to worry about other girls. They go over her being traumatized by Remy's photos. Will vows he won't hurt her. I love you. Electra lets Will know that she's never gone all the way before, but hedges that she might be ready soon. He assures her it will be amazing. Electra explains that not only Remy, but her parents' divorce made her cautious. Will vows that he's a one-woman man, and they make out. At Lai's place, things have progressed to the point where Luna is up and walking. She's also about that glint back in her eye, as she tells her grandmothers that she plans to make the most of this second chance. Heads up, Will. Luna delights her grannies by putting on makeup and gushing about them loving her and believing in her. She insists the anger and resentment is gone, there's just one thing she wants. Unsurprisingly, Luna reveals that she wants to see her Finn. Lai says it can't happen now. Sheila prompts, Finn's not the only one you want to see, is he? Luna grins. Lai warns there are things to discuss before Luna talks to anyone. Sheila and Luna giggle about her feelings for Will Spencer. This is news to Lai, who reminds her niece/granddaughter that the last thing she needs to be thinking about right now is boys, especially a Spencer. Luna, of course, flashes back to kissing Will during his failed sting operation. She smiles to herself. That kiss could have brought me back to life. Katie shows up at the Forrester mansion, apparently to talk up Ridge's rescue of Brooke to Taylor, who's happy she's okay. Katie needles that Ridge rushed right in with no thought to his own safety. Taylor chirps, that's my fiancé. They spar over which of the women Ridge can count on. Taylor declares that Ridge were codependent. Katie has the nerve to disagree with the world-renowned psychiatrist. But Tay insists that going back to Brooke will only bring Ridge more heartache. It's not going to happen. At Forrester, Brooke squints as she relives the Ridge rescue kiss. Predictably, he appears at that very moment. Not wasting a moment on small talk, she immediately asks what happened at Eric's with Taylor. Ridge is forced to admit that he didn't come clean about the kiss. Brooke puts him on notice that Nick's dangling an engagement ring. She reminds the dressmaker that he doesn't want to lose her. When will he make things right? Ridge stammers that he thought he'd lost her forever during the boat accident. Brooke says she's right there, but makes it crystal clear she won't be waiting around, not when there's a man who's prepared to propose. She warns Ridge that if he can't end it with Taylor and come back to her. Stepping forward, the dressmaker silences her with an embrace. The morning sun streamed through the massive windows of Forrester Creations, casting a golden hue over the familiar world of fashion, drama, and tangled hearts. Yet today the tensions were higher than ever, and the stakes seemed personal, emotional, and dangerously combustible. As always, nothing at Forrester Creations, or in the lives of the Forresters, was ever simple. Luna's persistent fixation. Luna began the day in her usual whirlwind of intense emotions, but this morning her eyes betrayed a new urgency. Despite everything she had been through, the trials, the rejections, the near-fatal mistakes, Luna's mind was firmly anchored on two people, Finn and little Will. Her fixation was no longer subtle. In fact, those around her noticed the almost obsessive way she monitored Finn's movements and the way she subtly inserted herself into Will's life. At first, Finn approached with his trademark patience, hoping that Luna's growing attachment could be tempered with reason. "Luna," he said gently as he handed her a cup of coffee in the Forrester Design Studio, "you need to focus on yourself, not me or Will. He has a family, and you need to step back." But Luna's gaze didn't waver. "Finn, I know what I feel. I can't just ignore it," she whispered, her voice trembling with a mixture of desire and desperation. I just want to be near you and Will. I want to help. I need to help." It was a statement that, on the surface, sounded caring, even nurturing, but the undertone was undeniable. Luna's obsession was creeping back, and those who knew her past instincts, particularly her impulsive decisions and dramatic tendencies, feared the inevitable fallout. Meanwhile, Will, blissfully innocent, had no idea of the storm brewing around him. He was delighted to see Luna, viewing her as a friendly presence rather than a source of tension. Yet Finn's concern was palpable. He knew all too well how Luna's emotions could spiral, especially when mixed with her past entanglements with Steffi and the Forresters. Brooke's ultimatum. Meanwhile, in a sleek, quiet corner of the Forrester mansion, Brooke and Ridge were engaged in a conversation that could easily define the next chapter of their tumultuous relationship. Ridge, with his usual mix of charm and frustration, attempted to navigate the emotionally charged waters. "Brooke, you know I love you," Ridge began, trying to balance sincerity with caution. "But these decisions aren't easy. We've been through so much." Brooke's piercing gaze held him in place. "Ridge, enough is enough," she said firmly, her voice cutting through the tension like a scalpel. "I cannot continue like this, living in limbo. You have to choose, Ridge. You have to decide whether you want me, or whether you're still holding on to Taylor." The words hung in the air, heavy with expectation. Ridge's jaw tightened. He had always been torn between the two women he loved, or had loved, each representing a different vision of his life and happiness. Yet Brooke's ultimatum wasn't negotiable. It was a demand, and Ridge could feel the weight of it pressing down on him. I can't just flip a switch," Ridge murmured, struggling to find the right words. "You know my heart, Brooke. You know what I've been through." Brooke's voice softened slightly, but the steel beneath it remained. "And I know my worth, Ridge. I deserve clarity. I deserve commitment. And if you can't give me that, I have to walk away." Luna's escalation. Back at the Forrester Design Studio, Luna's persistence began to cause ripples. She subtly inserted herself into moments where Finn and Will interacted, often hovering, sometimes overstepping boundaries. Finn, ever the protector, tried to steer her back gently. "Luna, maybe you should take some time for yourself," he suggested. "Focus on your art, your life, anything but me and Will." But Luna's obsession was growing, and the gentle advice did little to deter her. She lingered in conversations, gave unsolicited advice, and even volunteered to take care of Will, an action that sparked immediate concern from Steffi, who had been keeping a watchful eye. "Finn, I don't like this," Steffi warned, her tone sharp with protective instinct. "Luna's getting way too involved. This isn't healthy. You know she can't control herself when she fixates on someone." Finn sighed, rubbing the bridge of his nose. "I know, Steffi. I'm trying, but I don't want to push her into a corner. She's fragile." Meanwhile, Luna misinterpreted Finn's patience as a form of encouragement. In her mind, any hesitation, any kind word, was a sign that her attachment was reciprocated. Her imagination ran wild with scenarios where she was an integral part of Finn and Will's daily life, often envisioning herself in a role that belonged to Steffi or even Hope. Brooke's emotional showdown. Back in the Forrester mansion, Brooke and Ridge's conversation escalated as emotions flared. Ridge, ever the romantic at heart, wanted to find a middle ground, a way to reconcile past loves with present desires. But Brooke had no patience for ambiguity. "I can't compete with ghosts, Ridge," Brooke said, her voice breaking slightly. "I need someone who's all in, who's present, who chooses me, not a memory, not a maybe." Ridge tried to soften the blow. Brooke, Taylor she's complicated. I care for her deeply. But you. He paused, searching for clarity. You're my life. You've always been my life. But these feelings, they don't just disappear overnight. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our Boldy and BAUTFUL UPDAT YouTube channel for more update news.